different. Funny but different.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Wake and Bake with my CannaCast. I'm CannaDave.
And I'm Groovee.
On today's Wake and Bake, we're going to be talking about cannabis and culture. Cannabis has been within the culture for years. So we've seen it in movies, music, TV, commercials. Not really commercials, but more or less with like your movies and things like that. So we're going to be talking about cannabis and culture.
Yep.
What are some of your favorite cannabis-friendly movies?
I have a bunch of other questions that Dave doesn't even know about that are a little more in depth than just like the skin surface stuff. I really curious of your thoughts about cannabis and pop culture, how it affects it. I'm curious, like, what you think about legalization. Has it ruined cannabis's identity? Has it changed it? Etc.
Like
crap. Well, because it has. Like, I mean, it's not even a maybe. It has. Legalization has changed the perspective of cannabis. It has. I mean, how has it changed? I'd love to hear people's opinions, but it has changed. Like, just to get into it, like, look at the stoner stereotypes that have gone and changed and come and gone, and so it's that's my big thing that's changing to me is stereotypes and all that type of stuff.
Right, that makes sense. I like that. I mean, then you say it all the time, Groovy. Like, our younger sisters, they look at cannabis differently than how we even look at cannabis growing up. So, like, the legalization
That's not even close.
Is completely changing.
Not even close. Oh, shit. Hold on.
So we got a fun Wake and Bake for you guys planned today. As always, let us know how you're consuming cannabis this morning. I'm about to be grinding up some Bangarang. I'm going to smoke some Bangarang. Looked like Groovy was doing some dabs.
Yeah, you want to tell them about Bangarang? Because no one knows what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, Bangarang's bred by Exotic Genetics. It's lemon tree, I believe, crossed with...
It tastes like lemons. Like, besides lemon tree, I haven't had a strain that tastes.
Is it rainbow chip? No, I'm like that. Yeah,
I don't know, dude.
You always put me on the spot, and I'm like,
I was saying describing Bangarang. You say it like it's a common strain. Bangarang, no one's ever heard of. Like, every time I bring this around, someone they just go Bangarang. That's exactly what they say. They verbatim, it's Bangarang.
You remember the movie Captain Hook when we were kids? Bangarang!
Oh, wow. Back there. I mean, sort of. Do I remember Hook? You serious? Everyone called me Rufio my whole life. Look at me. I look like Rufio. They'd be Rufio. I'd be like... But yeah,
come on, guys.
But what's up, John Day? What's going on?
That is... anytime I say that strain, my dad laughs because he's the one's like, he loved that movie, and they say it constantly, and I told my one buddy about it, and he's like, pulls up a clip of them talking about Bangarang, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh,
shit, you got some Petro solventless in the chat from Andy. That's pretty sweet, man. Let me know. I actually went over to the clinic and checked it out the other day. I bought some Society C because it was a really good deal, but I haven't tried the Petro solventless. I'm curious the quality difference between Cannaboys and Petro solventless, to be honest. Is it like their B versus their A? You know what I mean?
And my bad, it's Bonkers and Rainbow Chip. Bonkers has a cross of Lemon Tree in it. So Lemon Tree is not the original cross in the Bangarang. You got to go back through the Bonkers, and then that's how you'd get the Lemon Tree. So it's Bonkers and Rainbow Chip is the cross. Yeah, it was a freebie, man. It was a freebie from his extended Rainbow Chip launch last year, and I was super pumped that I got it. I think me and you were talking about this like a couple days ago when you stopped by.
Yeah.
that when I popped the Bangarang, the first time I smelt it, dude, I was so geeked on it because of the how lemon smell it was. You know, that citrus, the peel. You're like, whoa, that's very lemony. Is it going to transition to the flower as well too? And it pretty much does. Like that smell is very, very potent throughout the entire flowering process. And then even when you cure in it, it's still pretty potent. It's a good one. So it's a nice uplifting strain, daytime strain.
Brandon, what's going on, fam?
So kicking off the day with some of that.
Yep. Yeah, I'm starting off with some Gelato 33 rosin.
Gelato 33.
So that's what we're doing. Got kosher kush. Let me ask you though, what's up, Caitlin? What's going on, Kate? Andy, let me ask you about that GMO. Does it taste like your typical garlicky, GMO? Is that what it tastes like? Because I'm very curious. Yeah.
Oh, Petro's GMO?
Yeah, because I mean every pheno is a little different, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, okay. So since we talked about what everyone's smoking on, I want to talk about this cannabis and culture stuff.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on cannabis and culture?
I think the cannabis culture, it's been around, right, for years. We've talked that you've seen movies about it. I think it started getting more prevalent. Like maybe this is when I remember it more so or less, is like Harold and Kumar. And like the whole movie was surrounded about weed, right? The whole movie is smoking weed to go get White Castle. Pineapple Express, like some of those movies back when I was 18, 17, 16, those are the movies that like reminisce with me around cannabis and culture. Like, to be honest, after seeing Pineapple Express is pretty much when I started smoking weed. Came out in 2008 I think. And then right after that it was pretty much just smoking weed since. And I love when the movies talk about cannabis and show how not bad it is, and then you're like still wondering why it's still federally illegal and why we like in all the movies, White Castle, the whole point, what are they doing? Trying to get food.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's also not good. I mean, stoner stereotypes aren't always great. I mean, that's the big thing I will argue about. Like they're ha ha ha, but like that's not every stoner. That's just like when you're like ridiculously high. Like I don't necessarily like how cannabis is portrayed in culture, to be honest. Like in movies, at least, I don't think it's portrayed that well. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's taken so long to kill these stigmas, to prove that I work 60 hours a week while smoking. You know what I mean? Like that's so like, I don't necessarily dislike movies like that. I think they're hilarious because like you said, it's just getting munchies, right? There's no point to that movie. It's stupid. It's just fun comedy. But like, I mean, am I wrong there? Like I feel like sometimes when you talk about cannabis in media and in culture and everything, it's almost like Scooby and Shaggy, Harold and Kumar. Like it's always these like stupid stoners. Like, and it's kind of like, I don't know. I just never really liked it. Like, I think, yeah, it's entertaining, but that's all it is entertainment. People forget, like, this is entertainment. Like, these are conversations. They're not, so I don't know.
I personally really like those movies. And I see where you're coming from with it,
yeah, I'm not saying I don't like the movies. It's not at all what I said.
On how it's portrayed for cannabis and for stoners and things like that. But
I mean, do you think it's portrayed as positively in that aspect?
I mean, in that movie, Harold and Kumar, they're both workers. The one's going in to be a doctor, doesn't want to be a doctor, right? So to me, yeah, I think it's just a funny portrayal of cannabis to hopefully lighten it up on what it's been previously, where, hey, it's reefer madness, it's devil's lettuce, you smoke this, you're going to die. I'd rather have the funny ploys because
what's up, Dave?
Most cannabis consumers understand that you're not that stereotypical stoner.
And I guess that's true because you're right. I didn't think about that.
It's breaking the edge from how bad it was to showing that it's actually better.
I guess I'm thinking more movies like, don't get me wrong, I love this movie, but Half Baked. That's not necessarily the best portrayal of cannabis, right? And then like he quits over a chick, like again, not a good look either. Like, what I mean? Like the whole movie's kind of just silly, good entertainment. But I do kind of see your point though, because like Harold and Kumar, and it's the same thing with Brandon just mentioned, Grandma's Boy. He's a successful game person. He's
And
like
that's a
kind of lost,
classic.
but he has a degree. Like he works his ass off. He doesn't stop. So that's a good one. Mike says Cheech and Chong, but it's like again, that to me, don't get me wrong, they're entertaining, but then everyone thinks those are pothead movies. Have you watched those movies? They're tripping balls in those movies. You know what I mean? Those aren't movies that are like, they may be stoners, and in the beginning it's funny, but they're tripping balls. Like that whole movie's about taking acid and mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like, so like definitely like I just think sometimes like as funny as it is, like I like the movies like maybe more like Grandma's Boy because that portrays like a positive, role model. That's all I'm trying to say. Sometimes you just don't. I'm sick of the stereotypes. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I think you're gonna have the stereotypical movies, but it's kind of, in my opinion, Hollywood's some of the movies that break in the typical stoner mold. Like they'll talk about it, but I think it just breaks that stigma a little bit. Like Pineapple Express. I mean, the guy's working as he's serving papers, Seth Rogen, and happens to see a murder, smoking Pineapple Express, drops the roach, and the guy tastes it. Like that's fucking hilarious to me. And then the whole time he's just chill with his drug dealer, and they become friends because I don't know. I really, that's one of my favorite movies. Like stoner movies, I absolutely love. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You really lean into that culture. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying just sometimes I think about it. I watch those movies and I'm like, is that good or bad for culture? Like the perception, because like, yeah, sure, me and you are like, ha ha ha, I smoke weed, ha ha ha. Right. But what if someone who doesn't smoke weed? Someone like, I don't know, my dad who hates cannabis, like utterly hates it, right? They're going to be like, yeah, damn right, what a moron. It's amplifying that hate. And so sometimes I look at it as, yeah, they're hilarious to me when I laugh and I enjoy that culture. Mm-hmm. But is it good? It's almost like that guy who like gets wasted with a barrel, like, woo, and it falls over. Like to me, I'm like, cool. Like, but to people who like doing that, it's like, haha, fun. So it's almost as like, it is a perception thing based on what your viewpoint on cannabis is already.
Okay, what about How High? Classic. Got blunt. Got weed.
Half Baked. That's a good one. Yeah, see, again, Half Baked 2 incoming. Excuse me?
Is that really?
Sir Dirty said, excuse me? If what?
If that's true, I'm gotta see that. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, they made How High 2. They make How High 2. I mean, not How High 2. They make sequels to like a
that was
ton
awful, by the way. If you
I never saw it because the first one's like a classic.
I couldn't even.
Well,
finish
they bring
it.
in Lil Yachty and somebody else, and like you're taking out Method Man and Redman.
Like, what if we take two rappers that are nowadays famous and copy it? Like it's like.
You can't mess with the original. The original's so good.
Man.
I actually watched that
Dave.
recently.
How High too. Yeah, How High is great. Like again, I think they're great when you're talking about from my perspective. Ha ha ha! It's funny. Oh, I've been there. And that wake and bake part where he's like hitting the blanket, and he like gets up. Like there's some great parts. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm more curious about how that amplifies someone's viewpoint who doesn't.
I think you should understand though. Most movies though, in general, in a sense, outdo do that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna blow the stoners out the water. They're gonna they're gonna have cars falling from space where you don't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
It's Hollywood.
Exactly.
I get that. I mean, look at the romantic movies. None of that shit's gonna happen. No guy's gonna show up, pay all your bill. Do all. It's like it's not possible. There's no like dream person. When Hollywood. I guess what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just how it's portrayed, right, in culture. But you know what? Just let's take because like CannaDave did bring up something funny. What is your favorite cannabis movie? Like, and why? Because like we've been talking about this in the chat. Like, what is your favorite one? Like, what is your favorite one, CannaDave? I've always been curious because like you put so many everything that has anything to do with stoner, Dave will automatically follow up with I love it.
It gets 10 bonus points. I don't even know what the bonus points
stoner,
are.
I love it. But they smoke weed. I love it. Like I'm like, bro, you didn't even let me finish. You said weed, great. Like not anything to do with weed. CannaDave's about. That's why his name's CannaDave. Like,
well, no, it's 100%, man. I remember when I was like
100%, dude.
I don't know anything with weed. Yeah, it's 100% just better. If I had to pick
How
my
High
favorite,
is legendary. Hell yeah, Austin. Shout out, fam.
There's just so many, man, to pick. Pineapple Express is one of my all-time favorites, though.
Yep.
All-time favorite movies, and I just love it. It cracks me up.
Dazed and Confused.
Classic.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a throwback, actually. That's really good.
See, that's one of those ones where I don't even know if that was stereotypes or if that's how it actually was because I didn't live during that era. You know?
True. Same.
Like,
obviously, I didn't either.
Yeah.
I think That movie's great though. I'm thinking of quotes now from all
You
the
know
movies.
what? Austin brings up a good point. At least shows functioning stoners, and to a degree, and that's kind of like How High, The Grandma's Boy. I actually didn't think Harold and Kumar because it's so silly, and they like ride a cheetah. Like, you know, I mean, it's so ridiculous that I'm like, I forgot there is some sort of
There's always a point or
Yeah.
something to it.
well, no, that they are kind of successful. You brought up the point. I didn't even think about it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. He's a doctor, and the other one's like an accountant, and all they just happen to smoke weed in their off time. So maybe I looked at it as sometimes negative because people are like, oh, haha, stoner. But I think to some degree, you're right. Like, those were positive cannabis characters.
I would agree with that. There's just
Maybe people from Scary Movie like Smokey, not the best.
I actually kind of like him. when they drive up and they pull down the windows and he's pulling out a blunt, just smoking. I'm like, it's pretty funny because it's hilarious to me.
I definitely think Grandma's Boy would probably be one of my top ones. Now that we thought about it, because I've watched it so many times, it's like one of my feel-good movies, but also, like, I love Happy Gilmore
What about Super Troopers?
Productions. What?
Super Troopers.
I wouldn't say that was just a stoner movie, would you? I mean, they're busting people who smoke weed, but they don't smoke weed
True, but it's
at all.
a good movie though.
Yeah, but would you call that a stoner movie? Like a smoker movie? I don't even know if I'd call that a smoker movie.
Yeah, I feel like it. If I smoke weed to it.
That's like Little Annie movie. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what are you talking about?
I'm just kidding. Damn, that's hilarious. And see, with culture and movies, you have music that plays now, and there's tons of music that is great with cannabis, man. And everyone's got their own music that they love listening to while they're smoking weed. You have any favorite artists or favorite songs that you enjoy within cannabis, Groovy? Switching it from movies
I'm going to music. Oh, by the way, Andy says, CannaDave, if you haven't seen Evil Bong, you definitely need to. It's always
Have not seen
fall
it.
back to How I Grandma. By the way, Tucker Dale versus Evil isn't a stoner flick, but it's one. Okay, that's good. I don't know if Evil Bong. I think I've seen the commercials and I was like, that looks stupid.
Evil Bong? No, I haven't seen it.
But again, if it's entertaining, maybe I should see it. But it looks kind of stupid, you know. So your favorite smoking song? That's what you're asking me now.
Yeah, I mean, we could continue talking movier, but I figured
No, I
the other
don't-
culture side with it a little bit. You
Yeah,
mix
this
in
is
some
pop,
music.
like pop culture. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get a little bit back more into the serious stuff, but I like this kind of fun stuff.
Like for music, man, obviously I go right into like, you know, Bob Marley, any reggae music. I love jamming to.
Smoke Weed Till You Die by Groovee. Just
Hey.
kidding. I put out a song on 420 this year called Smoke Weed Until You Die, and that's pretty much all it says, and then it has some EDM stuff. But I don't know. I don't know if I listen to that. I mean, maybe Medication by Damian Marley. That would probably be one of my more favorite. Medication. Because I was like, a lot of my stoner music isn't like just weed might be mentioned, but it's not like every line is smoke weed, I love weed.
Yeah.
Every time I smoke weed, weed is weed. No, there's some serious music out there that is like weed music.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, that's all I do. You know what I mean? It's weed focused. Like, I mean, like Cottonmouth Kings, pretty much, well, maybe that's the best example, but they're pretty much all weed focused. You know what I mean?
Most reggae.
Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of reggae. Do you listen to a lot of reggae?
Yeah.
You got me into that one person. I'm really hyper, so it's hard for me to listen to calm music.
Yeah, I love reggae during the day. Man, that's like my groove. I go from Bob Marley, I'll listen to
Cushion OJ, nice, Austin.
That's a classic. Wiz. Oh, I love me some Wiz. Sublime. You have Damian Marley.
Sublime, Centera, nice. Snoop Dogg, John, nice.
Snoop.
Is there any Snoop Dogg song? It's true. I mean, like,
I like a lot of his older
actually,
stuff.
that new one
that
with
new
Snoop
one.
Dogg and Eminem, that shit was dope.
That I was bumping that for a minute.
And by the way, if you're into rap music, go check out the Game's 10-minute diss track. Not to give him like any props,
Damn, what?
but I will say, no, dude, this shit's fire. What do you mean? Like, if you listen to the rap, it's a great
It
rap.
is.
Is he talking shit about Eminem?
Oh, the whole
Do
10
I
minutes.
like that? No.
The
Do I
whole
think
10
that was smart? No, because he's like, is he as good as Eminem? In my opinion, no. But he is a great rapper, and it's a good song, and he pretty much mocks Eminem's every single style. So I was impressed. But my whole point is hip hop is like really influenced by cannabis. reggae, obviously huge in the cannabis. I mean, electronic music doesn't have that like influence, but let me tell you, cannabis is huge in our culture and electronic music.
Peter Tosh.
And if you're into music and cannabis, check out Big Cloud Farms Cure Cup next month, September 9th through the 11th. I actually just got added to the bill, so I'll be there on Sunday performing. So me and CannaDave will be up there on Saturday at some point. So Big Cloud Farms, music, cannabis, Cottonmouth Kings, Groovee, Nicotine. It's going to be a baller time.
Yeah, it's going to be
Throw
fun.
my name in the middle there. Make myself feel better about myself. But I mean, because music and cannabis are like this, man. Like, there's very few musicians that I know that don't smoke weed. 80-20 rule, man. I'm sure there's 20% of people out there that don't smoke weed. But, like, there's a lot of influence from music.
Oh, yeah.
That your cannabis into music. You know?
I believe it.
What artist, you know?
What artist, doesn't smoke?
Like, shit, just name a cannabis song right now. I mean, there's so many. Legalize it.
Peter Tosh.
Yeah.
Wanted. Dread and Alive. Three Little Birds. Jammin'. You got your medication.
I am medication.
You got Collie Buds. That's not an awesome song.
Dude, I mean,
but you
there's
got
Tangerine
artists.
Sky, like, which is Cottonmouth Kings. There's, like, I don't know why I was listening to Cottonmouth Kings yesterday. I was in a mood.
I got a whole smoking playlist on Spotify. You got Ludacris, Blueberry, Yum Yum, Rick James, Mary Jane.
Pass me the green.
Oh, geez.
That might be one of my favorite, because that was the first time I ripped a fat bong. I was like, pass me the green. I was like, why is everything moving so slow? And it wasn't.
Whoa.
But my brain. You remember when you first started smoking weed and you got that like slowed down perception? You'd be like, "Whoop."
Yeah.
Just chasing that dragon.
slower than what I
What's
am
up,
right now,
Thor?
so it's pretty slow.
What's up, fam? Trevor Hall. Don't know who that is. I feel like I should maybe. Share that playlist, Dave. Ooh, share that playlist. That's true. Dave's got like hella Spotify playlists for every occasion.
I do.
Smoking, not smoking, smoking.
Yeah, it's a mix of like reggae and then a bunch of just weed related songs.
Ooh, Paul hitting us with I like the Beatles trippy stuff.
You got 50 Cent, High All the Time.
Tomorrow Never Knows. Oh my God, High All the Time. That's who said that?
Me.
Oh, I was gonna say that's one of my favorite
Cypress
tracks.
Hill. You got Outkast,
Pass Me the
Crumbling
Bong.
Herb.
Or Hit the Bong. Wait.
How to Roll a Blunt.
I'm mixing up so many songs right now in my head. Yeah, but see, like, okay, this kind of leads me into my next question statement about music and cannabis and kind of how they correlate. Do you think that cannabis is still a form of rebellion? Is it still rebellious? Because, like, remember how the people would talk about cannabis in music, and it was like, legalize it. It was like about movement. It was about power. It was about energy. Now it's kind of like I just blow big fat stacks or big fat blunts. Like it's not fighting for it anymore. It's just kind of like weed pride in a sense. You know what I mean? Because it's legal, or at least in the States, right? Things have changed, the perception of cannabis. So sometimes when I think of pop culture and I think of cannabis, I used to think rebellion. Now when I see someone hitting a breeze vape that says chill on it, it's kind of like less rebellious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I still feel it's rebellious because it's not legal everywhere. I mean, if you're in a different state, you're still
that's
being
true.
rebellious.
I mean, I have a
you're in a
Michigan
different
viewpoint.
country, you're rebellious. So I still believe it still has that, because even
It's
if
from
the
the bong,
majority
that's-
of people like cannabis, it's probably like a 65, percent.
Right.
I don't even think 70% of Americans approve it fully for legalization, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so I don't know. I still find it a little bit rebellious. Maybe here it kind of is broken down to us a little bit because we've been legal now 4 years. We've been open.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
since
even,
19.
Michigan, of course, but I mean, even when you go to look at how, like, the United States is, like, viewed as a viewpoint, there's, like, 20-something states that are legal. So it's like, isn't cannabis cool over there? It's like, kind of.
For the most part.
You know what I mean? So I think you're right. I think that's what I wanted to ask, because I just wanted to ask and see
But
people's opinions, because I think rebellion has to do with, like, where you said it's still legal.
And I think it's going to have that stigma for a while because it was illegal for so long. But also, I think your pride's true because everyone's talking about now the exotics. It's about what you smoke, like what flavors. Like that's huge. I don't know if that's pride, but a lot that's
I
transcended.
didn't know what to call it. I don't know if cannabis pride is the right way to say it. I just mean in the sense of like, okay, pop culture, right? These affect like the youth. These affect like everyone around us. Meaning in the sense that like we absorb it without really realizing it, right? It's like my dad who hates cannabis. Like he's come a long way about cannabis because of all the legalization and how the hemp farm bill, like hemp became legal, right? So it's just like I think people will naturally change, but it's like I still think to some degree it's lost some of that rebellion that it used to have just because of how modern it's become with the vaping and the edibles. And again, I think that's just my Michigan viewpoint. I think you're absolutely right. If I went down to Kentucky,
I think it's
probably rebellious
yeah,
as hell.
It's your perspective here. I mean, yeah, I still see it rebellious because so many people still aren't in favor of cannabis. I mean, you still have cities that don't even have shops open still. I mean, you can't even smoke weed in public.
Well, that's true. That's
here in
true.
Michigan.
So,
So
yeah,
when you're
so if you're
smoking weed
smoking
in-
outside public, you know.
It's kind of rebellious.
So that's okay. So good. So then I just was thinking that in pop culture, because it's like it's so normalized in pop culture and movies and stuff. Like I feel like seeing weed in a movie isn't like, ooh, there's no culture shock anymore.
Not anymore. No,
You know,
I would
but I
agree
think
with
you're
you
right.
on
There
that.
is some.
You see
there
it
is
more
that-
often. I think you see it more often them smoking in movies than you
Yeah.
did 20
Well,
years
it's fake
ago.
smoke, but it's like they're referring to weed. You know, regular.
I mean, Snoop
weed.
Dogg smoked a blunt on Super Bowl this year. Walking out of the
Oh,
state,
yeah, that was
walking
my
out,
favorite. Like we didn't know what you were doing.
he smoked a blunt. So
Like,
like
no shit.
in pop culture that way, I mean, it is breaking the stigma a little bit. But like,
Austin,
there's still,
so
it's still
Austin brings
rebellious,
up the
though.
point. He says smoking in Indiana still feels rebellious smoking down here, not nearly as much as I do back home. And I think that's really it. I mean, but like,
Oh, those are two great Cypress Hill songs.
and also I
It's
wonder if
from
it has to do with
Oh.
me just smoking weed for so long that it's kind of like it's just normal. Like, so it is rebellious, but it's like I don't look at it like that anymore. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I had to ask. I was really curious what everyone thinks on that one because it's like one of those things.
I mean, Andy's got a great point here. As long as there's still people in jail and the oppressors are still in power, it's still rebellious. And people are still in jail. Like, that's huge. I mean,
This is why I want to ask the question because this makes me feel good talking about this type of stuff because, like, I truly do think cannabis is looked at as kind of like a. I'm not I don't want to say I'm not normal because I'm not normal, but that's not what I mean. I mean, like, I'm an individual, man. Like, my whole childhood coming up was like me trying to find some type of like me, right? I was trying to find that sense of like, who is Groovee? Well,
right.
my name, but like, you know, like who am I, right? So when I first hit weed or when I started tripping, right, I started really deeping dive into who I was, not giving a shit what culture told me I had to be. So like that's why it's kind of like it's funny when I see cannabis portrayed in culture so much because I was like, what are you talking about? This wasn't even cool to do till like just now, right? So it's like I don't know. And again, I haven't been smoking since I was like a kid. I started smoking when I was 18. So it's like I can, you know, it's 17, whatever I was, but
18.
you hear me though. The perception of cannabis is so crazy different, and that's why I want to ask: is it still rebellious to you? Like
100% to me.
to you, not to you.
I would say so. Yeah.
Groovy, I'm complicated, man. Like, I mean, I got feelings.
Cheers,
Y'all got
Thor.
feelings. I got feelings, man. I don't know what I'm doing inside. I wake up every day and I'm still fucking confused. I mean, today I got a nonstop plan. If you want to check out some free music, by the way, come out to Flint Drop Fest. I'm playing 5 to 6. Yeah, man, I got like 4 gigs next month, and it's like a blur right now. I got New York next month, Big Cloud next month, Big Fam Music Festival next month, which is chic. Shout out Emerald Fire CC. Definitely think I'm gonna get CannaDave there. We might be doing the wake and bake from there. It's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. Reach out. Oh, here we go. I like this. GoBro Buddy has a really good comment. Let me pull this up. Thank you for commenting, by the way, because this is great. Still got to lie to the corporation you work for if they decide if you smoke weed or not. You get fired regardless if you have a medical card or quit Spectrum Communications, so don't stress. Or not, I quit Spectrum Communications, so I don't stress. See, so that's the thing. It's okay. Again, I'm a little numb to this. That's why I need to ask this, because like my company's cool with it. You know what I mean? They're not like, hey, get high on the job, like, but they know it's legal, and they're like, you do your job, and that's how it should be. You know, like, no one judges you for drinking like 9 beers after work. No one should judge you for smoking pot. You know,
True.
so
would agree with
I
you.
still, you know, these are great reasons why it is.
But that's
still
something that
rebellious.
does need
Yeah.
to change, especially in states where it is legal. You should be able to smoke and not get fired, or not be able to smoke and have fear of being fired because you want to smoke. And weed's the longest drug that stays in your system. I mean, you can do anything on a Friday, and by Monday, it's probably out of your system. Any other harder drug, right? So it's unfortunate.
1, 2, 3, 4 Fias? I don't know. I'm just kidding. 3 days usually. Wait, what are we talking about? I'm sorry.
But
just a joke.
honestly, though, like, think about it. So, like, it sucks, and doing random drug tests for a job is like, it can be like, okay, so why are you drug testing me? You know, for what reason? And you should be able to smoke weed after work.
Yeah.
You know, it's medicine. Even if you have it just for adult, you're doing it as adult use. It's medicine. So, in my opinion.
Oh, here, I like this one. Oh, this is a great one. This is a good point. I actually, because I have no perception on this type of matter because I am not a mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like this. I think there's still a lot of stigma around moms who use cannabis, especially living in a mainly conservative area. I think moms are held to a higher standard like we are druggies if we use cannabis and care. Sorry, I couldn't see the rest. I just paused. Cannabis and care for our kids. I feel like a double life. Cannabis is a huge part of my life now, but I used to love it at the time and growing it. Yeah, honestly, 1,000,000%. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I would much rather my mom smoke a joint than get wasted. Like, and my mom thankfully like really wasn't into like really either. I mean, she drank a little bit, but you know, like, she wasn't really getting fucked up. But like. I think those aren't necessarily things kids can understand that need to de-stress yet. Mm-hmm. So sometimes when you see it, it is a little different. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong. Mother's 100%. Smoking pot. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
You should
because,
be able
again,
to.
I smoke weed.
Yep.
I understand that cannabis doesn't make you less of a mother by any means. Mm-hmm. I can't even understand that. But, like, I'm not, how do I say this politely? Some of the most judgmental people in the world you will meet can be parents because they're so projecting their feelings onto their thoughts onto their kid in this protection manner. So I think you're dealing with a lot of mothers looking at you like, oh, I couldn't do that because my kid's this, my kid. So a lot of things, I think that's just like mothers judging you because they're family and they're like, oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't imagine my kids. Like everyone puts their own shoes in it. Like they need to understand everything you do. And I don't think that's fair, Serena, because I think mothers who smoke weed are just mothers who smoke weed, right? There's no correlation to smoking pot has nothing to do with you being a parent. Mm-mm. Some of the best parents I know smoked weed. I'll be honest, I wish I could bond with my dad and smoke weed. I have friends that smoke weed with their parents, and I'm like, that would have been sweet as shit.
That's pretty cool.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm sorry, Serena, that you get beef like that, because you shouldn't. You
shouldn't at all.
You know? They don't even correlate to me.
Yeah. Just because you want to smoke some bud. And they want to drink their wine or drink their...
It doesn't matter what they do. That's kind of like my whole point. Like, if you're taking care of your kid and your kid's not abused, it doesn't really matter.
Right, 100%.
In my opinion. Again, no, not a parent. Not trying to be a parent. Don't want to be a parent. Not even slightly.
Parent to animals.
Rather get a snip. I've been thinking about it. My buddy's getting snipped in a couple weeks.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, interesting. I think smoking weed makes me a better parent. Yeah, probably with empathy and understanding. Like, I never got understanding. I got, shut up! Shit. Dad, you should have smoked some weed, man. Shit.
100%, dude.
It's legal in Michigan, still illegal federally. Until that changes, nothing really changes. I disagree. I think decrim is more important than legalization.
Well, yeah, getting it off the scheduled one. And
because I'm more about rights. I don't care if half these people that don't smoke weed like weed. Good for you.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter that I want to smoke weed and it bothers you. No worries.
Oh, man, you're just that is super sensitive people, I guess. And I don't understand being that sensitive in that manner because, like, what I do, doesn't affect you. What you do in your home doesn't affect me. Like, I don't care. Like, you know, so it's very weird that people get to these points where, I'm a parent, so therefore I should tell you how to parent. Like, shut up. Just raise your little thing. You made it. You know, do your job. You did it. It's not anyone's decision besides yours. You know, like, I just hate that judgment because you think that your ideals are more important because you're raising a child. Like, you're just raising a child. Mm-hmm. They're just your ideals. No one's perfect. No parent's perfect.
Nobody's perfect, dude.
You know, so Yeah, Serena,
Like,
you. Oh, I have heard. Yeah, fuck the haters, says Dave. Yeah, exactly. Simple. That's hilarious, but it's kind of ironic that when you say fuck the haters, you become a hater, hating on haters. I love it. But I have heard the same from mothers I know. The one hit here, they're there, makes doing the laundry, etc. tolerable or fun. But if you feel like the CPS is going to break down your door and drag you if anyone finds out. That's interesting. I'm so sorry that parents feel like that. Like, I had no idea, because I know parents who smoke weed, but we're all kind of adults now, so it's not like they're kids. I don't really talk to people with like many little kids. I don't have many friends with like little children, if that makes sense.
no.
You know, so it's not like my circle. I don't know. So it's fascinating. I didn't realize that in culture nowadays that being a mother and using cannabis has become such an issue. Like, is it the same way for dads?
You would think, right?
I don't know. I don't
Maybe
know,
not.
because mothers are looked at to be these like over airing, like they're the caretaker, right? Right? I don't know. I'm just curious. Like, I don't have kids, so I don't know.
Neither do I. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Well, why you guys respond to that? You want to give a shout out real quick?
Yeah, we give a shout out to
DNK, this month's sponsors. Much love.
DNK Growers. They are out of Lansing, Michigan. They grow craft cannabis, and they bring it to you at an affordable price that you're able to buy. They have some new strains coming out. Florida Kush will be out in the next couple weeks. We're going to have some content of that before it's out, so you guys will be able to see some of the flower grown and some of the bud. They have the Sour Animal, Lemon Cherry Gelato, Ice Cream Social. And what I mean by affordable price, too, for all those, it's $25 an eighth at any of their shops that they are in. So go check out DNK Growers. They're on IG, all over social media. Give them a follow, hit them up, ask them where you want to see their product, and they have good bud.
Yeah, reach out on
And
Instagram.
their pre-rolls are
They will
even
reach out. They're
bud.
small batch. They're not
Thank you.
corporate. They're not. There's like under 10 people, so just reach out. Like,
Yep.
so much love, DNK. But yeah, I just want to take a second there and show some love there, because like I thought that was a good place to pause, because I was very curious. All right, cool. We got a response. This is what I wanted to see. All right, Dave said, "I'm a proud father and grandfather. My grandkids love to play in my garden." See, and that's the thing. Like, it's almost like this. Like, if you looked at it as normal your whole life, you wouldn't look at it as a big deal. You know, it'd just be like tobacco.
Right, but it's been illegal for mostly everyone's whole life. So now you're starting to slowly see changes here and there. And I think over time it will become more normal. As more states go legal, changes will start to happen throughout everywhere. So there won't be that judgment. There shouldn't be that judgment starting off. But like here in Michigan, it just went legal a couple years ago. You're having a lot of people that are trying cannabis their first time within the last year or two. They might not have went right away because they're still hesitant on it. But now more people are trying it. They're seeing it. They're talking with their friends and, oh, hey, I tried this edible. I had 10 milligrams. Woo, you know, or I vaped this. So more and more people, as they start smoking and trying the product, we will see that stigma slowly break down and then have hopefully better conversations within mothers and families about cannabis, that it's nothing bad, because like what Dave said, it's garden. You can throw it in the garden and grow.
It's kind of ironic to me, because sometimes when parents overparent, because they're trying to protect. Like, I get what you're doing. You're trying to protect your kid from drugs and the use of drugs and going down a path, right? But when you like what my parents did was like, don't talk about it. Let's talk about it. Right? They just like, it was so taboo that all I thought about was it. You know, I was so curious. When you're just, if they would have just been like, yeah, that's weed, here, and I'd been like, oh, okay, I probably wouldn't have thought anything about it, right? Don't do cigarettes. They brought it up so much not to do it that I was curious why. You know, and I think sometimes when you overparent and you overjudge and you say how bad cannabis is, all you're telling your kid is reminding them when you feel like rebelling, go try some weed. Like, you're doing it. Like, you're like, my parents helped it, and I don't hope they're not listening because I don't want to hear that stuff. But it is, you know, you can't push so hard because then people go the other way. You know what I'm saying? You can guide, but once you push too hard, they're not gonna listen.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
At least I didn't.
Yeah, everyone will have their own experience in life, and
You know.
you're gonna want to try things in life, and that's just what it is.
Yeah,
Everyone's
but-
so experimental.
Yeah.
I
Well, that's
think.
why when I asked is cannabis still rebellious, I truly think it's kind of funny that, like, to me, it always starts as that, but then it becomes like a normalized thing, you know?
Because it's just part of something that you do every day. But I mean, up until
Yeah, I don't know why I'm seeing half of the comments on Facebook. Andy, I didn't get your comment, but I want to point this out because he says, dude, you know my schedule. Sometimes I have to show up to school events right after work, and I get nasty fucking looks showing up in Cannaboys gear. And sometimes it's the hair and beard. And, like, just the fact that you get so much judgment just for wearing the word Canna. It's like us. Like, we're a media company. We have Canna in our name, and they're like, oh, you sell drugs? Like, okay, it's weed, first off. Second off, no. Just talk about it. Like,
right.
I don't understand why there's this, like, such a negative stigma, especially in culture, in, what would you call that? Like, parent culture?
I would just call it culture in general.
Is it? I don't know, because, like, that's not a life I ever, like, when I go to, like, family events, people are talking about, like, that type of stuff, about, like, whatever, Johnny Bob's, like, what I'm like, right there, this stuff doesn't intrigue me, right? So I'm very curious what it's like being a parent. Like, I don't know. I don't really have that desire, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of wish I did so I could relate.
It's not in the.
It's just not me. I've
not right
always
there.
wondered, you know, like, what it felt like to want that, you know? So I just think it's interesting to judge someone based on, they have that same desire as you. They wanted kids. They want to, whatever, prolong human existence or whatever, right? But you're still going to judge them because they're slightly different than you and look different than you.
I mean, dude, people judge all the way through.
So then that's
Mi-
my thing. So
elementary
has
school
cannabis
through
really
middle
changed at all then? Is it
high
still-
school. I mean, everyone's getting judged like that. That's just I think.
No, I'm saying the parents, though. Like, for smoking weed, they're getting judged for having, like, Andy's
Right.
getting judged for having a beard and looking like a biker who wears Cannaboys. Like, what?
To me, it isn't shocking because people judge people on what they don't like. It all goes in that, and people still don't like cannabis, you know, as much as other things that they've grown up on that have been legal. Until they've tried it or been accustomed to it or had it around, they're not gonna be open-minded to it. Their mind's gonna think just what they've been brought up on the reefer madness or whatever's bad through their family. And
Damn,
you're slowly,
right.
in my opinion, you're slowly seeing it break down now that it is legal. And we go back to our buddy's 30th a couple years ago, right? We were all eating edibles. The whole family's eating edibles. Now they're still eating edibles. Since that day, they'll still buy some and still eat some edibles because they enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, until it's fully decriminalized,
probably
I
eating
think
them right
we're
now,
gonna
to be honest.
you're gonna have people judging people. Like, I still get looks when I go in stores. I know it because I'm always reeking, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, it's because it's at your house. You could,
But
you
it's like-
your bud, you could have smoked yesterday and they'd smell you. So don't
Like,
even
even
start.
at work, there's
Oh,
been
you get a
stuff.
lot of judgment there.
So it's like there's stuff.
So, okay, so I'm almost going backwards on what I said. So I used to think that legalization has changed the perception on cannabis. Has it?
Not fully, no.
Has it even, I mean,
Some, yes.
okay, maybe it's
gonna take
changed the
time.
perception in the states that are legal.
But even the state
Michigan's a
that's
little
legal,
different.
we have our listeners are getting judged right here in the state. Still, it's gonna take years until it's fully decriminalized.
I don't think we'll ever get rid
or
of it
fully
fully.
legal. It's not gonna change. Honestly, I think
That's
it
what Mike
will.
said,
It's.
yeah.
I honestly think it's gonna. You're still gonna have the judgment. You will, because you're still having it
I
now.
get it. Yeah,
or
100%.
if it goes fully decrim in 50 years from now, after families are being more brought up in this and teaching, hey, the plant's not bad. It's actually really good. You know, that will change people's perspective as it grows on, and it'll just be like alcohol, because all moms, they'll be drinking their wine together, you know, or having your liquor, drinking beer after work, like all that's just whatever.
Well, I mean, I always hear about people like dropping their kids off at their parents' house and going to get wasted at a concert. It's like,
right. So like being the weed stuff in like 20, 30 years after, as we continue going down this progression, it's just going to be part of everyday life. But I think it's going to take time though, not right away.
Yeah.
And after hearing all this hate and judgment just over cannabis still happening here in Michigan, and we've been medical since 08 and we've been legal since 18, like, you know, it's still gonna take time. People just like to judge what they don't like, and they're just not used to the product or learning about it or haven't had a benefit from it. Like, we've seen it help people and back when I bud tended, I remember a lady was looking for specific strains to help her daughter, you know, and these specific strains actually helped her. Yeah, they make oil out of it.
And he brought up a good point that it's a bonding experience. Like some of his best memories with his mother, which before she passed, I'm so sorry, man. I feel for you, heavily, because I couldn't imagine. But it's like one of those things that some of my best memories with my friends were just like smoking joints. Now, was it because of the weed? No, it was just kind of the creating, like the experience that we had, rolling up the joint, like, right? And that's why I think I've talked, like we talked on that one episode, Turp Talk, how vaping's changed like weed culture, right? It's just like get high real quick. Where it used to be like this, hey, let's meet up with some friends, let's all throw down some money, right? It was this whole togetherness,
Yep.
right? So I think it is fascinating when people talk about that because it's like, I don't know, it's different now, but not completely. That's like this gray area why it's weird, and I think you, Mike, you're all onto some point. Like, I think decrim's more important than legalization. Yeah,
hell
but
yeah. Hell yeah.
But
We're not ready for legalization.
Well, but that's probably what Mike meant. That's probably what he meant. You know, because at the end of the day, people don't. They think that it's either one or the other, and people
Right.
forget about decriminalization.
100%.
They forget that that's a thing for years. I mean, we even said at the beginning, like, we need it legal. We
Yep.
need it legal.
Yep.
And then we really realized the difference. I think after we started talking to like Jazz Cabbage Cafe, you know, and then we realized, oh, decrim's more important. Like, you know.
Yeah,
But I mean, we
perspective
become
change.
better activists like throughout getting to know this cannabis culture and getting to know it. You know, it's always evolving. You know,
It is, and
we try to talk about advocacy and just talk about what's going on in the culture and be a cannabis media source. You know, I mean, there's plenty of podcasts out there that give you, you know, other type of information, but like that's what we do. We're media. You know.
yeah, and I think the key is, I think Austin was talking about it, education, man. Education. We have to continue educating on cannabis. Like the more and more research that's done, the more and more people that keep educating, that breaks the stigma and helps push towards not being cannabis, not being rebellious, and just being an everyday product that you can use and not be judged on, have fear of any prosecution. Like we can't even smoke outside here unless you're at your house, right?
Yeah.
Legally.
No, I
You know, so like
yeah.
that's like that stuff needs to change. It should just be like a cigarette where you could be able to smoke it outside while someone's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. Again, like how serious are the laws? You know, that's my big thing.
Correct.
People drink and drive boats like every day and take pictures of it. Like, is the government really gonna go arrest them? No, he has to get caught doing it, and because like there's
Right.
too many people. So, but Groovee, no. Andy said Groovee perception has changed, but the needle hasn't moved a lot. Went from -10 to -7, not -10 to 0, and that's a good point. Like it's changed a bit. It has not. It's gonna, and I think you're right. Even after decrim, even after legalization, it's still gonna take years of being like, I don't care, just because it's like legal doesn't mean it's, you know, for me. And like it's gonna be like that. There's always gonna be hate. So I guess I'm not trying to say let's get rid of the hate, because I mean I'd love to, but it's not gonna go away. I'm just trying to say like what Austin just said. Austin said it best. I think all you can do is just educate.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
100%.
You can pass on the information. That's all you can do. You can't, it's like with kids. You can't, like why they did Dare. They realize you can't watch every kid all the time and be like, you're never going to do drugs. And half of them probably will. So all you got to do is give them the information and hope that they don't die. Like, it's true. You know, you can lead a horse to water. You can't force it to drink, right?
Yeah. I love it.
I speak in sayings sometimes. I don't know where it comes from.
That's a great comment. If someone pulls out a cig, I pull out a joint.
It's like a trump card.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Give a sneak peek to this week's episode. We got a new episode coming 4:20 Eastern. It's with Alberta Buds, I believe. Correct? Ruby? That's the one we're
Yeah,
dropping.
really cool conversation. Really enjoyed it. Definitely had some tech issues, but
Yeah.
you know, internet is crazy like that. But it was really great to listen to them talk. And
Sneak peek,
He's a great
virtual live tour.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. He
Not
was on
live,
his
but
phone
virtual
and
tour.
he just randomly, he's like, yeah, well, it's international too. It was really cool. He's like, you want a tour of the grow? And I was like, we were like, yeah, sure. So we got it via phone, but it was an international. So there's that.
Pretty cool. That's cool. We'll have to go out if we had. Nope, because no, too far. But
I can't go to Canada without one of those passport things. So.
same. So
Or extended license, I guess.
yeah.
Check.
So
I don't know. Nick said, "What happened to audio?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm still seeing audio. So nothing.
check.
Smoking. No. I see signal. I mean, unless it cut out on your end. Smoking,
over
rocking,
here.
kush. Nice. Please check out my music, Groovee everywhere. Electronic saxophone, keyboard, shit. Playing Flint Drop Fest today. 5 to 6 with the Squad Records. Check them out. Check us out. What else am I doing? Am I doing anything? Wait, no, nothing else this month. Bunch of shit next month. Big Cloud Farms.
September's busy.
New York and big. Actually, we're busy because we got Big Cloud Farms and we got Big Fam Fest. So my CannaCast is busy too. Definitely look out for some cool stuff because there's gonna be giveaways. It's gonna be fun. We got all sorts of stuff coming your way.
Yeah, I might be going to New York.
Oh, really? Again there. No, I was playing. But yeah, we appreciate you. Please check out my CannaCast everywhere. Check out the podcast, like CannaDave says. We got tons of interviews and stuff coming from CannaCon, so look out for those. Anything else I missed?
Check
man?
that out. No, we appreciate everyone tuning in with us today. If hit that subscribe button if it's your first time, really appreciate it, and always hit that like, share the post. We have a comment. Is there any Halloween CannaFest around? The only thing I
Big
think
Cloud
of,
has something going on like most months. I have to look. I don't know. I mean, I know there's the one thing tonight, but that's not Halloween. Obviously,
Halloween theme. No, but I think there's reggae on the river in Ipsy.
That's
But
October?
that's in October. I thought it was. Yeah. Maybe it's not reggae on the river. That might have been in April. But there's something out there.
Give me a second.
Oh,
Cloudoween. If at Big Cloud Farms, 10/7 through 10/9. So there is Halloween. So Big Cloudoween. I just looked up because I'm playing the Big Cloud Farm, so I don't really know. So shout out to all of them.
Shout out to Bud Presser coming in from the UK. I
Damn.
appreciate you tuning
I
in.
almost want to stay on longer now just because you're here.
What you smoking on, my dude?
UK cheese? No, I'm just kidding. That's stupid.
Because it's like afternoon right now, right? An evening, got to be. It's like 12, 6 hours.
Oh, right.
8 hours.
Yeah.
But, and then
Well, yeah. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, not much, really.
Yeah. Well.
Not much. Well, I appreciate everyone tuning in today.
Yeah, and honestly, it was very fascinating talking about cannabis and culture. And I honestly think maybe we'll do like an episode or something on that because there's something that I never thought about parenting, cannabis and parents, because like, again, I don't really have an understanding of that. So, but I think it's fascinating to hear what you all go through, to have that much judgment just for smoking weed. Like that's crazy. Like,
Crap.
no, and I think it's almost like a lot of parents used to smoke weed. It's just now that people are being open about it, so now there's open judgment about it. Like, that's okay to be judging people.
People are ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
You know?
True.
People are ridiculous.
True. And by the way, I'm just been playing some unreleased music of mine, so Facebook and YouTube doesn't flag us anymore. So I don't really know.
So we brought the music back.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. Glad it's back, to be honest. But other than that, you guys have a great weekend. Excuse me. We'll see you live Tuesday, 7:10 Eastern time. Come join us for our Terp Talk.
Yep. Wednesday's 420, and like you just saw the Wake and Bake every Saturday.
Yep, 9 a.m. Eastern. So appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe. Check out the website, like Groovee said. Our socials were just posted below. And if you guys ever have any questions, hit the DMs, send us an email. All of it's right through the website or right on our socials. So
Yeah.
other than that, man, got nothing else. Great sesh.
Cool.
And as always, Groovy.
We're here to advocate
Educate.
and inspire.
Till next time, y'all.
Peace. Bye.